What did you say when Biden called you and said he wasn't running? Well, I immediately thought of him first. No, you didn't. You know, I mean, fracking. Dana Bash had her dead to rights. It's like, you said this. I have the quote. I'm reading it to you. You said there should be a ban on fracking. Why can't they just go, yeah, you know what? I got it wrong. I was talking to the wrong people. You know, she's had this ridiculously hot...
Bill Maher just ripped into CNN for shamelessly praising Kamala Harris while constantly bashing Donald Trump. And let me tell you, the left is not going to like this one. Maher called out CNN for its obvious bias and its non-stop attempts to spin every story in favor of the Democrats. He even went as far as saying CNN itself is partly to blame for Harris's embarrassing decline. This wasn't just a sharp critique. It was one of Maher's most explosive takedowns in a long time. So buckle up, because this one cuts deep. And before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
This is the place where both sides can watch. And
I'm talking about the people on CNN. And what I know what the conservative side of America thinks, and I don't blame them. They were just gushing about how great a speech it was. And I think she did fine. I didn't think it was as good as they were making it out to be.
If you think back, CNN would practically gush every time Kamala managed to string together even a halfway decent sentence. A dull line like, "We must do better," was suddenly treated as if she just unveiled a groundbreaking plan to change the world. They brought on analysts, experts, and panels of pundits to sell Kamala as some kind of political genius. Like she had all the answers. Spoiler, she didn't. And that's exactly what Maher pointed out. He accused CNN of flat-out cheerleading instead of informing the public. In his words, it wasn't journalism, it was PR. And with his usual sharp edge, he tore through the glossy image CNN tried to build for her.
It does look like tokenism. It's kind of like the same as The View.
I don't think that you can say that CNN is anything but fair. Everyone who was speaking last night, it's not like they were all Democrats. I mean, we had Dana Bash, Jake Tapper, Abby Phillip.
They come across
giving
that way.
Analysis.
They come across that way. In a moment like that, it was like 5-1. It always looks like 5.
Then came one of Maher's harshest points. He compared CNN's coverage to tokenism, saying it looked a lot like The View. He wasn't buying the idea that CNN is fair. Sure, they sometimes bring Republicans onto their shows, but Maher argued it's never a fair matchup. It's always stacked. Instead of balance, you'll see panels where it's basically 5 liberals against 1 conservative. Jake Tapper, Dana Bash, Abby Phillip. They all come off as leaning in one direction during moments that matter. Even Caitlin Collins tried to defend the network, saying they cover Republican events too. But Maher didn't let them off the hook. In his eyes, it's still a loaded game, and the token Republican is just there to be a punching bag. And then he delivered a knockout blow. He flat out said CNN looked like The View. Imagine that. A serious news network running panels that play out like daytime talk show drama.
Conservatives do not trust CNN because it is so staunchly anti-Trump. He's not wrong, because they'll put on people like Adam Kinzinger or Anna Navarro, George Conway, and call them Republicans, or pretend that's being balanced by putting them on by saying, oh, see, these conservatives don't even like Trump. Only Scott Jennings over there can be called a conservative. And Maher is right. It's almost always 5-1 on shows they portray as news programs.
And that's exactly why so many people don't trust CNN anymore. Their version of balance often means putting weak or watered-down Republicans on air who can't make a strong argument, or who barely count as conservatives at all. They're not there to debate. They're there to lose. So the panel looks smarter by comparison. That kind of setup doesn't fool viewers. People can see when the deck is stacked. Maher pointed out that this is why conservatives and even independents are tuning out CNN and looking for alternatives. It's not news, it's theater, and it's pushing viewers away.
Do you have the time? Your answer is not, I do. If you, do you have the time? Right. Yes, it's 4 o'clock. Well, you have to understand that words don't always mean what they mean.
And when Tim Walz said, like, the American people, I talk like they do. No, you don't. No, you don't. You're a huge liar, like all politicians are. I don't care, by the way. I've always said this about politics. They're all going to lie. They're politics. It's what they lie about. I don't give a what you did during the Iraq. You were in the Guard. So I don't understand why they just can't. You're just insulting my intelligence.
But Maher didn't just stop at CNN. He also went after both Kamala Harris and Tim Walz for outright lying during their softball interviews. Walz, with his polished political grin, has been caught stretching the truth or outright lying about his record in politics and even about his military service, all to make himself look like some kind of war-hardened statesman. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris has her own list of tall tales. She once claimed she had been to the border when she hadn't gone anywhere near it. Her team even tried to spin a story that she wasn't on Joe Rogan's podcast because Rogan wouldn't allow her, which Maher called total nonsense. He saw through it all and called it exactly what it was: dishonesty dressed up as credibility. And the problem, according to Maher, is that the media lets him get away with it.
Say when Biden called you and said he wasn't running, well, I immediately thought of him first. No, you didn't. You know, I mean, fracking. Dana Bash had her dead to rights. It's like, you said this. I have the quote. I'm reading it to you. You said there should be a ban on fracking. Why can't they just go, yeah, you know what? I got it wrong. I was talking to the wrong people. You know, she's had this ridiculously high turnover. Like 42 of 47 people as vice president are gone. Just blame it on them. You know why these are gone? Gave me the wrong information on fracking.
And that's classic Kamala. She dodges a question, shifts the blame, and hopes nobody notices. Take fracking as an example. She flat out lied about her earlier positions, trying to rewrite history when it became politically inconvenient. And then, of course, came her infamous word salad moment. When asked what she could do better than Joe Biden, instead of giving a clear answer or a real vision, she rambled incoherently, stringing together phrases that sounded deep but didn't actually mean anything. Maher couldn't resist pointing this out because it captured her political style perfectly. Say a lot, mean very little, and then rely on the media to make it sound brilliant. But the truth is, more people are seeing through the act.
The bug up there is about IVF. I mean, I certainly understand abortion. You know, there's a baby growing in the womb. I get it. It's going to be a human. Doesn't bother me. But yes, it is murder. Again, doesn't bother me that it is.
You're not supposed to mess with that. That's what many people think. You're supposed to let.
Oh, I see.
Great man upstairs.
Oh,
yeah, it goes back to that It goes back to that stem cell debate that George Bush had.
Yes.
Remember? It goes like the Terry Shive. It's just like life, laugh. We support laugh.
Now, here's where Maher himself gets called out. Some say he's dead wrong on one key issue. He's outspoken in favor of abortion, and that's something conservatives will never let slide. Critics argue that it's deeply hypocritical for Maher to slam the Catholic Church for failing to protect children, while at the same time dismissing the lives of unborn children as if they don't matter. That's not just inconsistent. It's a moral contradiction. Maher wants to be seen as a truth teller, but when it comes to abortion, his critics say he's blind to one of the biggest truths of all.
What explains Donald Trump's appeal to young men? I saw today that the gender gap, I think, is the widest. I mean, it's very predictable. I mean, the women are much more for Kamala and the men are much more for Trump generally.
But it's not predictable if you look at past elections where voters under 30, generally men and women, went for Democrats. This is remarkable. I think to explain it...
Wait, you're talking about under 30?
Yeah, the under 30
What's going
gender
on
gap.
there?
It's very different than past elections.
Meanwhile, Kamala Harris is losing one of the most important groups she needs: young men. And the reason is simple. For years, Democrats have been pushing policies and narratives that many men feel belittle or sideline them. Instead of fixing that problem, Harris doubled down. When she had the chance to choose a running mate who could inspire younger voters, especially men, she played it safe with an older pick. Trump, on the other hand, chose a younger running mate, signaling that he values the energy and future of younger men. The contrast couldn't be more clear, and it's a big reason why young men are drifting toward Trump while walking away from Harris.
Young men and young women voted for Joe Biden at roughly the same rate. Over the last 4 years, and now with Kamala Harris, young women are voting for Kamala Harris at that same level, if not more. Kamala Harris has barely moved the needle with young men. They have gone more toward Trump. There's a lot of reasons for that. I think Trump has exploited culture war stuff. He appears on hyper-masculine podcasts, and he just seems like a fun bro who's not going to ban your zins, you know?
And here's the bigger picture. Elites love to mock podcasts or conversations that celebrate strong, healthy masculinity. But what they don't understand is this. Strong men build strong families, strong communities, and a strong country. Weak men, on the other hand, create dependency and chaos. That's exactly what many feel the left is promoting. But America has already spoken. In both 2016 and 2020, millions of people rallied behind Trump not just for politics, but for what he represented: strength, confidence, and defiance against a culture that tries to label masculinity as toxic. This wasn't just about elections. It was a cultural shift. People want leaders who are tough, unapologetic, and rooted in conviction.
Actually, this is a real issue for Kamala Harris, though. Like, this could be fatal for her campaign. So, if Democrats need to win 60% of the youth vote to win the White House. Hillary came up short. Obama did it. Biden did it. Kamala Harris is right now at like 55% of the youth vote. If she doesn't get to 60, she could lose the election, and it's because young men, Gen Z men, are breaking to Trump.
So where does this leave Kamala Harris? She's staring at a political disaster if she doesn't fix this issue fast. Young men are no longer buying what she's selling. They're frustrated, skeptical, and moving away from her message. And it's not just a small problem. It's a ticking time bomb for her campaign. If she wants even a chance, she'll have to cut ties with the woke agenda that paints masculinity as a problem. Until she does, young men will see her as part of the movement trying to strip them of purpose. And when election day comes, they'll send that message loud and clear at the ballot box. At the end of the day, Kamala Harris and the Democrats are facing a harsh truth. Their war on masculinity is backfiring. Young men are leaving. The media's token debates aren't fooling anyone. And Maher's criticism only makes the cracks more obvious. Unless Harris changes course, respects strength, and drops the woke politics, she's done. And come election day, those young men won't be cheering for her.